Today we are with one of our students who just finished, Scotty, and he's going to tell us about his journey through the mentoring and how it's been for him. So let's just dive right in. Scotty, tell us a little bit about your musical background, and we'll go from there.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm a musician, I'm a guitarist predominantly, and do like live sound as a living. And was trying to get into, over lockdown, was getting into, when everything locked down and gigs left, basically, wasn't allowed to go out and do the live thing. Wanted to try and get into the production thing, which is obviously where I found you guys. And that's kind of where I am in a minute. So I'm still recording in, which is fun. Doing the live thing again now, but doing the production thing now as well.
Awesome.
Great. So Scotty, how has your progress been so far with the mentorship, and what results have you gotten so far?
Oh, I mean, so as I say, like I'm a musician and sound engineer anyway, so I know how things should sound. But as far as actually producing a song from scratch, like I hadn't really done that before. I know how to write a song, but yeah, like actually producing it on my own, I hadn't done that before. And now, obviously I've got 8 tracks which are basically done. I'm actually waiting just for a few friends that are going to record some live vocals and live drums on some of the tracks. But other than that, yeah, like there's basically 8 tracks, I'm pretty pleased with. I'm sure I'll get better in time, of course. But yeah, definitely a whole, like a million miles away from where I was.
That's great to hear. And did you see this progress like right since the first couple of weeks?
Yeah, literally from the first week. It was good to know, even obviously just the basic stuff, because as I say, because I hadn't done the production thing, even like just learning the real basic stuff was good fun. And like there were so many light bulb moments going through that first couple of weeks. It was cool. It keeps you motivated to carry on going with it, doesn't it?
Lots of light bulb moments. Nice.
Yeah.
So essentially you were primarily just like playing live music a lot and
Sure.
doing some mixing, but like actually producing with MIDI and programming stuff, that was new for you when you started, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I'd done some mixing for, like live recorded the live gigs and mixed them down and that kind of thing. So I had, some basic, some mixing knowledge, but like you say, like actually producing and like writing with MIDIs and samples and, all that sort of stuff. That was all brand new. That was all completely new to me at that time.
So how do you feel going forward now after all the experience you've accumulated?
I'm super happy, confident with like applying for any kind of like production job. Well, I say any kind of production job. Also, all different kinds of production jobs. I'm sure there's jobs out there that I probably don't feel quite confident to go for yet, at the high end. But there's I'm more than happy with telling friends that's what I do now, and doing that as a job format.
Nice. So you're stepping stone and starting to freelance and branch out.
Yeah, exactly. I've actually had 2 in the last week come up to me and do. I haven't had them signed off yet, but they sound pretty confident that I'll be doing a demo, like a 3-track demo and an album by the sounds of it.
Beautiful. And they came to you.
They came to me, yeah.
Wow.
So you're literally making money out of your own music after 8 weeks of getting mentorship with us, right? That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
That makes me very happy. That's awesome. So what would you say are your biggest takeaways in the last 8 weeks? Those moments where you felt like, okay, I could have never figured this out.
Do you know what? The one that I always thought was the funniest one was literally in week 1, where what you guys call the ear candy, like bit of the song.
Mm-hmm.
And all like the transition, like rises and white noises and that sort of stuff, all that kind of stuff. I thought you had to sound design yourself. So I never did it. I didn't realize, like it sounds obvious, doesn't it? But the samples and the sound effects that you can like just produce it, like factor in. That was a whole like light bulb moment for me that I thought was great. I thought, you know, there was people there that were sound designing each riser like every time they was doing it, you know, like getting it into some sort of sampler and editing it all. And so, yeah, just being able to just like drag and drop some, you know, some effects and samples in and making that, you know, making that the transitions sound nice and how they should do is, yeah, that was fun for me.
Right. There's a difference between being a sound designer and a music producer. Most people get that wrong. Everyone wants to start with a kick drum. They want to produce the kick drum.
Exactly.
Not how
It
it's supposed to
made me
be.
realize it was a lot, you know, obviously you can go into the sound design of things, but you don't have to be able to design every single thing you're doing. Like, you know, you can use, that's what sample packs are there for. That's that whole mindset was just like, yeah, that made so much sense when that was done that first week.
Well, at the same time, in the third week, you also did sound design. You created a kick sample from, you know, recording. I believe you recorded the table, right? You banged on the table or something, if I remember.
Yes.
Yeah. So you got
I did that for a kick
idea
drum.
Yeah, and you created a whole song out of just samples that you record on your phone, right?
Yeah. It was great.
How was that for you?
It was great fun. So learning the you know, the sampler within Logic. Obviously, you guys are using Ableton mostly, so I had to do a quick bit of my own kind of like YouTubing of the Logic sampler itself, because they just updated that as well. So there was like some old videos that weren't quite up to date on it. But once you've kind of got that, it's just super fun, isn't it? Like, you know, like figuring out all the concepts of hiring and lowering, I thought was my favorite bit of the, you know, like taking something and then, you know, lowering it several octaves to make it whatever bass sound, like, and then all of a sudden it's just a completely different sound at that point, isn't it? So that was probably my favorite bit of that week. Like, you know,
awesome.
taking something which is essentially like a really high-end thing, but actually, you know, once you've played about a bit, you can you know, you can make it into all sorts of things. All of a sudden, you know, the limits are not there anymore, you know.
Right. That's great to hear, actually, because you kind of get an idea about producing a song and then also doing some sound design. But anything you would love to tell someone in a similar situation as you were 8 weeks back?
I mean, I would say come do the course. You know, like that is having a like an organized, you know, like approach to, you know, like a consistent approach of the whole thing. That's kind of like the big thing you guys are doing there, right? It's, you know, it's the organized, you know, systematic approach of doing it each week, and you know, and it makes sense, you know, and obviously the more you do it, the better you get at it, don't you? But being able to have that process in place going forward, I wouldn't have had that process in place. I might have found it, you know, down the line, but to be able to have it, you know, said to you in a way where you can understand as well, you know, like not too technical talking about it, you know, just like a simple explanation of doing it, like it makes everything else fall into place a lot easier, you know, once you've got those few kind of like fundamentals in place.
All right, so that's basically the summary of it. Like I said, Scotty came in with very little production experience, had some musical background, and was able to just learn the programming, the MIDI, the production side of things, got a lot more comfortable, made 8 tracks, finished them, and now people are hitting him up, wanting to work with him and have him produce their songs. And this is only the beginning. So if that inspires you and you'd like to level up as well, feel free to reach out to us on any social media and we'll have a chat. You can also click the link in the description and you can fill out an application form and we can go from there. So that being said, thank you guys for watching, and until next time.